Yeah, it's a quiet Cordova neighborhood that's now dealing with quite a mess after vandals came through. This after a student apparently stole a teacher's phone. That phone contained nude photos. And speaking of your personal brand, she recommends you take a look at your resume, update that, and then update your LinkedIn profile. Police say they got a call just after 7:30 on Saturday for shots fired in the mall. But when they arrived, they found out no shots had been fired. Instead, the sound of shattered glass. Ursula, every single day, kids walk to and from South Park Elementary. It's a very walkable place, but about a week ago, a racy billboard went up, and it went up about 35 feet from the street. Anna Marie, everyone is certainly relieved that we hear that the rain is going to stop. I'm standing in a place that was definitely flooded, but within the last hour or so, it's actually gone down. An hour ago, I wasn't able to stand. It's best demonstrated with an empty water bottle. When you place it underwater face down, you can see that the bottle remains full of air, but the second you turn it sideways, it fills with water, much like a swimmer's lungs, making the green line starts right here at Tillman. It's just a couple of blocks away from the Tillman Police Precinct, and as the weather gets warmer, police will be hitting this green line to make sure that if you're riding, walking, or running, you'll be safe. You're taking a look right there in front of us. That's just an example of some of the glass from a building. We're outside the Ferguson hardware store. You can still see smoke coming up from this. This was a beauty shop, and this entire complex here is destroyed. Good evening. Right now the sun has set and you can smell the smoke, or you can smell what's left behind from the fire behind me. That fire we've been showing you all day, the building you can still see is smoking. About 5 minutes ago, maybe less than 5 minutes, just around the corner here, protesters went from peaceful to rioting.
DNA proved his innocence, but it took the work of his pastor and the Action News 5 investigators to get his rights back. And he's likely not the only one in this position. Action News 5's Lauren Squires reports.
I feel like I don't supposed to be him. I always tell people, you know, that one day they're going to have to let me go.
Lawrence McKinney has waited a long time for freedom.
It was stress, it was suffering, everything. It was hard.
At 22, he was convicted of rape, a crime he did not commit.
Back then, you know, they didn't have no such thing, DNA tests and stuff like that.
McKinney spent 31 and a half years behind bars before DNA evidence proved his innocence, and he was released from jail.
The amazing thing to me when I got out, it was nighttime. I just wanted to see the stars in the sky, you know. That was in 2009. Since then, true freedom has been hard to come by.
He's still got shackles on his life.
Pastor John Hunn at Emmanuel Baptist Church in Lebanon, Tennessee, is McKinney's spiritual advisor, and in many ways, he's also his legal advisor.
This is a nation of the people, by the people, for the people, and they owe the people of Tennessee an explanation.
Though McKinney walked out of prison almost 4 years ago, his false felony record didn't go anywhere, preventing him from getting a job, voting rights, or a passport, which he needs for mission work outside the U.S.
Whatever injustice there is in the world, their injustice against Lawrence is worse than his injustice against them or anybody else. They put a stigma on this man's life that some people will never look away from. He's still paying a sentence that he should not even be thinking about.
It's all McKinney's wife Dorothy thinks about, and for the past few years, she and Pastor John have worked tirelessly to clear her husband's name.
He says he's not upset. I'm just going to be frank with you. I do. I really. You know, to think of all the years that he lost while he was in there with his mother. Because when he went in, he had a mother. And then when he came out, no mother.
Turns out a simple document was all that kept McKinney from experiencing the freedom he deserved. The Action News 5 investigators were able to retrieve McKinney's case file from an off-site archival building of the Shelby County Criminal Court Clerk's Office. Inside, paperwork that revealed a delayed course of action.
It really takes someone with some legal skill who's familiar with the criminal process to know what information needs to go at different spots.
So it's really easy for it to fall through the cracks.
Absolutely.
With the next steps laid out for us, the Action News 5 investigators contacted the Shelby County DA's office. DA Amy Wyrick was shocked to hear this story and requested an expedited expungement to clear McKinney's record fast.
requesting the court to sign an order of expungement in both those cases. And I remember Mr. McKinney.
And just like that, in this same courtroom that sentenced Lawrence McKinney to prison for a crime he didn't commit, Judge Chris Kraft wiped away his record.
The file itself will no longer be on the shelf, and should anyone call my office to ask whether Mr. McKinney had ever been convicted down here in Memphis, the answer would be no.
It's news we couldn't wait to share with McKinney, his wife, and pastor. The judge signed the expungement to completely delete your record.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Wonderful. Praise God. Praise God.
And for the first time in 35 years, Lawrence McKinney is now free. Completely free.
I'm going to have to sit down and let this soak in a little more. I hope our cause will open people's heart and they will see the truth and be patient and let God do their work for them. You take it on yourself, you're going to mess up every time.
Now, Lawrence McKinney's faith has never wavered through this ordeal. It could take 7 days, though, before his record is completely cleared of all search engines. But by all legal accounts tonight, Lawrence McKinney is no longer a convicted felon. And he says he'll be applying for a passport very soon to go on a mission trip with Pastor John. Now, the investigators at the Innocence Project were able to push DNA evidence to free McKinney. If your family needs help, we do have a link on our website at WMCTV.com. For the investigators, I'm Lauren Squires. Anna Marie, tonight the family is staying in a hotel nearby. That cassette player there is just one of the many examples of things that were destroyed in the fire. Today, volunteers from Raleigh Community Church helped clean up what's left here on the curb. A lot of debris, but amidst that, one small untouched item of hope. Life has thrown a lot of junk Elnora Blackledge Lee's way.
You know, you're thinking in your mind, how? And God's saying, I'm going to do it. Just sit back.
Elnora and each of her 3 daughters are battling cancer. Last week, Elnora was in Boston as her youngest daughter received treatment for tumors behind her eye. While they were away, their home caught fire, destroying almost everything.
The children's rooms were scorched to the max. You can't even tell it was a room.
This weekend, volunteers from Raleigh Community Church of Christ helped clear debris.
You know, this is a real life situation. This can happen to any one of us. And so, you know, just a way for us to serve God and be able to, you know, just really try to glorify Him in everything that we're doing.
Which, of course, only makes it fitting that they found this.
None of the pages got burnt. Nothing. Don't even smell like smoke.
A holy Bible on the shelf at home, untouched and in one piece. Did you see this? A reminder for Elnora.
This is all I need to work.
And her family that what keeps them moving forward,
Praying,
will always be a foundation for their home.
Yeah.
Good news tonight, the family will likely have a home to live in by Friday thanks to some Action News 5 viewers, but they need plenty of items to fill that home since they lost everything here in the fire. If you'd like to help, you can donate to the Lee Family Fund at the Regions Bank locations in the Mid-South. If you want more information on that, you can visit our website, WMCActionNews5.com. In North Memphis, Lauren Squires, WMC Action News 5. Well, it started as a project to brighten up the neighborhood here at the Carpenter Art Garden. That project is now turned into a fundraiser to make it better. The only thing more contagious than Lois Bruce's laugh,
my granddaddy cut out all the hearts,
is the spirit of giving.
That's great.
Here at the Carpenter Art Garden in Binghamton.
I took my time on this.
Dante Davis spends a lot of time here. After all, his grandfather helps run the place.
We had 22 hearts.
Just a few weeks ago, we first met Dante. He and his grandfather were putting the finishing touches on dozens of hearts. They later placed in the front yards of neighbors living nearby. One of those hearts, the Grizz.
You know, people saw his work and they ordered some things, you know, so that's a good thing. He's a talented young man.
A few weeks later, and the garden is lined with Grizz hearts.
Because a lot of people like the Grizz.
I like to doodle, what I call doodling.
Lois Bruce and many others are helping paint the project. Sold for $20 each. The money raised goes right next door.
The house has been torn down, the ground has been cleared.
To fund the Purple House project.
So we can go, if it be too hot or too cold, we can go in the Purple House and do our activities. I just do the small parts.
Sure, small in his eyes, but likely will make a huge impact for years to come.
This is a good place.